Alrighty. Hello and welcome back, everybody. So, doing this cast in the same night as I did my last cast. Had a little bit of a drink, ran the encode, took a little bit of a break. My voice is now just, oh, so beautiful. Wow, okay. That was weird. Let's go ahead and introduce our players. We're going to call this team 1 up at the top, this team 2 down at the bottom, as is customary. We'll start with the leftmost position. We have Imageless 409 going Aeon opening first land. Immediately to his flank, we have Rogel Dorn, who is going UEF. He actually opened first air. Very interesting opening. I guess he will be handling the air for team numero uno. Next, we've got Spiky Noob, who's going Seraphim. He also opened first air, actually. So Spiky Noob, if you guys aren't familiar, been on the channel a couple of times. Also played through the show match that I did for Supreme Commander Total Annihilation. Super chill guy. Last but not least, for team number 1, we've got Lieutenant General Fluffy. He's going Cybran, opening first land and second air. Moving on to team number 2. Down at the southwest corner, we have Thurnis Haley, who is going Cybran, opening first land. In the middle, we have one of my good buddies, Sergeant Syphilis. Super chill guy. I've probably played over 100 games with Sarge over the last couple of years, which is really great. Really nice guy. Love developing relationships in this game. Moving on, we've got Spoofed Login, who is going Aeon, opening first air. I gotta tell you, as a cybersecurity professional, that username or that handle disturbs me. And last but not least, we have the one, the only Willow's Duality, who's going UEF, opening first land. As we can see, we do have a bomber out for Spoofed Login, going to go harass Lieutenant General Fluffy. Incidentally, if you guys are not subscribed to Willow, I know that we share, I think, a good portion of our audience. Is 3 engineers go down for Lieutenant General Fluffy. That's going to hurt whenever he wakes up in the morning. But if you guys are not subscribed to Willow, go ahead and check his channel out. He's another Fortune Alliance Forever caster, puts out a lot of content, puts out way more than I do, and definitely does a really good job. We've done a couple of collabs as well, so might want to check those out. There's a couple on his channel, a couple on my channel, and they're a hell of a lot of fun. We really enjoy it. As a Sky Slammer comes out for Lieutenant General Fluffy. And on the subject of subscribing, I think something like 2/3 of the people that view my channel, keeps going up every time I look at it. 2/3 of the people that view my channel are not subscribed, and I gotta ask the question. What are you doing? A lot of you guys are returning viewers. I think like 2/3 of my viewer base is returning viewers. So if you guys are not subscribed, it's free, and by subscribing, you do allow you to be a better pick of the kind of content that you like to watch. As we see Spiky Noob sending a bomber rampant over Sarge's base, which is always great to see. But moral of the story there is, if you feel like clicking a red button, it does help me out. It helps other YouTubers out quite a bit. It allows you to be more in control of the kind of content that YouTube suggests for you, which is always good for me, because if it's suggesting my content, then I always love to see that. So don't ask for it a lot, but I'm gonna be that YouTuber for a little bit. Go ahead and beg, please subscribe. No, I'm kidding. All right, we've got an Aurora as well as a Land Scout on the way for Sarge, moving towards the middle, abusing some of that Aeon floating bullshit. We've got Spiky Noob dropping his first naval factory. Good naval production set up by Thurnis as well as Lieutenant General Fluffy. Lieutenant General Fluffy, first frigate out of the factory, making his way downtown to Sarge's incomplete naval factory. Engineer got sniped by a bomber we talked about earlier. Talking about the map, this is going down on Stella Maris. It's a good map. It's a lot of fun, and you can play this map in a bunch of different ways. There's a good amount of reclaim. A lot of it has been vacuumed up. There's a good amount of reclaim, lots of mass extraction points. You can play this map in 1v1s, you can play it in 2v2, and in this case we're seeing it 4v4, which is always great. 10 by 10, and lots of naval action on the cards for us today, as we see a sub from Thurnis beginning to harass Imageless Image less 409. I wonder what that means. It's got to mean something. One of his naval factories. He's not going to be super thrilled about that. And we got air transports out for both Thurnus as well as Spoof to log in. Trying to grab some of these mexes on the plateau back here in the back. Nothing yet for Team 1. Actually, I take that back. We've got Lieutenant General Fluffy. He is on the ball, on that very fluffy ball, making his way up there to grab some of those mexes. So we see a Trident actually harassing a mex on the point there for Sarge. Sarge kind of taking the same position that Minas Tirith took. This is the, I'm going to mess up the quote. This is the anvil of which Sauron's hammer will fall. I'm probably butchering that quote. But he is getting a little bit of a consolation prize here, as we've got a air transport that's just kind of hanging out here. I didn't know the scout. Does the scout have AA? I'm curious why the scout is able to fight that and the tank is not. But the engineers are going to go ahead and reclaim that tank. Got a little bit too close to the sun. He got burned. The Sarge losing a lot of his mexes here to Lieutenant General Fluffy's pressure from the Tridents. And Fluffy is also going to be moving in on Willow's position here on the far eastern side of the map as well with the frigate. Willow does have his own frigate out as well, so Thunderhead, 2 more frigates from Fluffy are going to be able to tip the balance in his favor on that particular side of the map. And Fluffy, the sole beneficiary of this kind of northern section of mexes, getting control of these islands as well. Nobody has as of yet gone for either of the islands on the edges of the map. Those do come with a hydro. You buy 3 mexes, you get a hydrocarbon for free. Pretty good deal, if I do say so myself. And I'm one of those bargain bin shoppers. Goes to Target and shops at like the dollar aisle. Actually, I'm kidding. I don't actually do that. I did date a girl that did that whenever I was in college. I thought very seriously about taking an ACU's gun to my head and blowing it clean off. I don't know what it is about Target. They got sorority girls so fired up whenever I was in college, but it happened as Spiky Noob is now getting overrun by Thurnus. Gonna lose his naval yards here. Lieutenant General Fluffy on the way to help, though. Thurnus reposturing, trying to do as much damage as he can before the reinforcements arrive. A couple of more frigates come off the line for Spiky, and that'll tip the scales in Team 1's favor in that little altercation, but frigates are on the move, kind of skirting the island here, taking out some of Rogel Dorn's engineers as well as mass extraction points, maybe. Or no, they're just going to shoot at it. Oh no, we got an engineer. See, I'm a professional caster. I predict the future. 2 engineers going down. 2 engineers going down. Now we do see Spoofed Login making a move for this little side island as well. And Thurnus actually dropping pretty aggressively, grabbing one of Team 1's islands as well as the kind of neutral side island. And Spoofed Login is going to have to contest here with Lieutenant General Fluffy on this island. And it would appear that Spoofed Login is going to edge out Lieutenant General Fluffy just a little bit there. 1 engineer is going to survive in the little reclaim battle. So we shift towards the middle. We do have Thurnus, Spiky, and Fluffy. Fluffy seems to be playing all positions at the same time right now. Moving in as Spoofed Login does drop an aggressive engineer and takes control of that particular island for the time being as well. So Team 2 looking in a pretty dominant position as far as overall territory. And we do have Spiky going for a tactical missile upgrade. Already got the T3 upgrade on his commander and is going for a T2 transport. Here we go, boys. It's comm drop time. It's time to drop that comm. Somebody is gonna... Actually, we're not gonna finish that sentence. Use your imagination. I know all of you people have almost as filthy of a mind as I do. Spiky's gonna lose, though, his naval production as soon as Thurnus realizes that his navy is standing still and needs to move north. Tactical missile upgrade complete there for Spiky. Goes to focus on the T2 transport, gets that out of the air factory, and he's going to, yes, pick up his comm. Bring it to me, my precious. I'm in Lord of the Rings mood right now, apparently. But he's going to lose all of his naval yards. Comm is picked up, and Spiky is going to be as careful as possible with that commander. There's not a huge amount of air force out for team number 2, so might not need to be as careful as he's being, as he kind of just brings it back and is going to go straight in for, it looks like Sarge's base right now. Is that where we're going? Let's check. Yep. Going straight in for Sarge's base. You see the drop-off point right there. Sarge is going to be the lucky winner of an additional comm in his base. Yay! Spiky has now made landfall. Sarge is like, hold on, wait a second. You're not supposed to be here. You're a bad guy. Spiky takes a minute to get his bearings here. Comm seems to be twitching a little bit. Goes to work on some engineers and now starts to lay down some of those point defense with that T3 engineering suite. An eruptor, Sarge was able to get an eruptor down quick enough, but that one eruptor is not going to be enough. So only 1 point defense survives. Spiky goes to work on another bank here of point defense. Not sure why he keeps stopping. Alright, here we go. This is it. The big point defense bank, as we see naval response now from Thurnus, who is Tech 2. Got a Siren class cruiser out. And these point defense are just going to kind of tear Sarge's base apart. Gonna lose T2 HQ. He's gonna lose a power generator as well. Lose his factory. As the Siren as well as a Salem open fire from the base, Spiky is gonna have to relocate here. Maybe picked a little bit of a vulnerable spot to drop. Throws down a radar. Now we got Corsairs in from Thurnus as well, who is also a T2 air. And there is... Spiky is going to get his air to respond as quickly as he can. The Corsairs, though, are going to start cleaning up some of these point defense banks. Spiky might want to think about getting a flak down. Potentially moving in towards this island or something like that to get that flak down. Interceptor is going to be flying over cruisers. We'll be able to bag the first Corsair, as well as some of the other interceptors there from Thurnus. But Sarge has his own relatively healthy air force here. That combined with the cruiser fire from the bay, and Spiky is looking like he doesn't have a whole lot of cover anymore. Decides to throw down a couple of land factories, goes to work on some Zooies, before he goes for a Nutashala T2 point defense. The T2 point defense will help out a good amount, but still needs some flak and needs to potentially look at relocating further inland. As we've got the Salem has now repositioned on his new base. Corsair is still causing him a lot of problem from the sky, and Sarge with a gun upgrade is now moving in. It says, get off my lawn. You're not supposed to be here. Go play the game normally. Spiky trying to get some more point defense down. There is a ton of fervors in the mix here as well from Sarge. They're going to be able to make that really difficult. Corsair badly damaged, a second one. Going in, Spiky launches a tactical missile. He might not have meant to go tactical missile. And I don't think that tactical missile is the play if you're going for a comm drop. Maybe nano repair. I think that's the slot for nano repair. Drops down to 1600 HP, takes an overcharge to the face. Spiky is going to be punished for his trespassing. Meanwhile, while we've been focused on that side of the map, Thurnus is now beginning to push in on Lieutenant General Fluffy's naval facilities with that T1 and T2 Navy. We got 2 destroyers in that mix, as well as a Siren-class cruiser. And Fluffy is going to have some problems dealing with that right now. A little light in the Navy game. Does have T2, but just doesn't have the units quite out yet to be able to respond. Turnus could potentially just waltz his way in there and do some pretty serious damage. Incidentally, full share is on, so Fluffy is the lucky beneficiary of Spiky's old base, as Sarge is forced to kind of rebuild here, sitting in a sea of mech marines from Willow. As Thurnus now ends up moving in on the naval facilities, naval yards under threat now. There is a lonely Salem that's been dispatched to respond. It's going to be picked up on radar. Looks like he's sending some T2 bombers out, so we have some USCOs out from the T2 Air HQ, formerly belonging to Spiky. It's going to potentially help out Fluffy in this overall endeavor. As he loses another Salem. Now we've got Spoofed Login moving in with his units. Aeon Navy. Got an Exodus, several frigates, an attack boat. Willow in close pursuit with a Valiant, as well as a 6 or 7 Thunderheads. Looks like they're going to be moving in on Fluffy's primary naval facilities, and Thurnus is actually shifting his attention, starting to look at maybe these naval yards over here, as the naval forces for Spoofed Login and Fluffy end up beginning to tangle. You have that Exodus with that beautiful Aeon Alpha strike. Gonna bag another Salem. Trident left all on its lonesome. Naval yards looking more vulnerable for Fluffy all the time. Is beginning to stack up torpedo bombers though, so up to 8 torpedo bombers, and that could be enough to help turn the tide and at least buy him a little bit of breathing room there. As on the other side of the map, Thurnus has got several Salems in this mix. By several, I do mean 3. That is the definition of several. Even has some gifted Beacon class frigates over. He's going to begin dispatching the subs for Image for Less. Image for Less also sending a Corsair over. It gets cleaned up pretty quickly. And actually, Rogel Dom, already up at T3 Naval, was not able to get that Neptune off the line though. It's only stuck at 76%. Naval HQ is going to go down, and that's going to hurt. All that mass, all that love, all that power wasted. So torpedo bombers begin making an assault on Spoofed Logins, and I'm trying to watch Rogel Dorn's commander, as well as he's taking Salem as well as Siren Fire. He's gonna have to move that up to the north. This is a dangerous spot to be right now. There's not a whole lot that Team 1 I think have that can fight back right now, unfortunately. The torpedo bombers are not doing as much as we would thought, as Image throws out the GG here. We have a T1 bomber run on Lieutenant General Fluffy's commander, as he goes for a T3 upgrade. But that Exodus is going to do way more damage than the T1 bombers will. He's rooted to the spot right now on that T3 upgrade. We've also got Image Less 409 under Salem and Siren Fire right now. He's losing bukus of HP. It's looking pretty bad for team number 1 right now, as Fluffy ends up canceling, and Image actually gives over his entire base. Thinks that he can't really do anything with it anymore, and he might be right as he drops into the red. 1400 HP, 1300, 12, 11. He's starting to get out of range, I think, though. 8, 7. Oh, and he stops moving. No, don't stop moving. You stop, you're dead. The Salem, okay, one shot, one shell does end up winging him, and Imageless is bagged by Thurnis. And Rogel Dorn has pretty much lost his entire base as well. I think it's pretty safe to call it for team number 2 at this point, as Fluffy has been pushed back. He's out of the naval game. Does have some good torpedo bombers and was able to clean this out, but the damage, infrastructure damage, has kind of been done, and it's going to continue as mexes go down in Image's old base. Targeting mass storage there for Rogel Dorn. Rogel Dorn, his commander, just kind of chilling over here. Fluffy goes for that T3 upgrade once again. We do have a Governor cruiser from Willow in the bay. The cruiser not being focused yet by the torps, so getting a good amount of kills. Got 1 rank of veterancy. Wow, T2 Navy able to reach all the way to the back here. Even back to that T2 Air HQ. Sarge has recovered relatively nicely. He's got his Air HQ rebuilt up to T3. And I think it's a matter of time at this point. We have an Infinity class cruiser here, just in the bay, as the T2 Air HQ now comes under threat from Fluffy. And looking at it, there's just not a whole lot in the cards yet anymore for team number 1, as Fluffy capitulates to spoofed login. And Rogel Dorn is now the lone member of team 1, and he control Ks and bows out as well. So I wanted to cast that game because I thought the comm drop was really cool, really aggressive. And there's a desync, I don't care. Game's over. Alrighty, guys. As always with replays, this one was sent to me by Sarge, but as always with replays, best place to get them cast by any caster, not just myself, but any caster is going to be dropping them in the replays to cast within the Fortune Alliance Forever Discord channel. If you guys don't have that Discord channel, it is linked on the Fortune Alliance Forever website. Good channel. There's a lot of good info that happens in there surrounding tournaments, as well as casting for the Legends of the Stars, the various invitationals, things like that. So you definitely want to be part of that server if you don't want to miss any of the top level pro action. From me, guys, though, that's it. Like and subscribe if you guys like the video. I really appreciate it. It does mean a lot to me. And also go check out Willow's channel if you guys have not already. He's a great FAF creator, makes a lot of good content, makes more content than I do. He works very hard. So if you guys are not subscribed to him, haven't checked him out, go give him a look. All right, guys, that's it for me. I really appreciate all of y'all. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.